But I'm back with the video. We'll be reacting to another Apple Sleep Experience Part 1, Pony Grimdark by the Lost Narrator. Now, I'm the one that suggested me this video. No one else did. So, yeah, hope y'all got, I'm gonna make sure the quality's turned up all the way. Yep, premium. Can't do premium, boy. Anyways, yeah, so the video that literally just got done uploading, actually. Hold up a minute. Hold up. Get out of here, video. We'll watch you in a minute. It's gonna be a long video, so grab your popcorn. This one right here, 5 views. Appreciate y'all. It literally I think I am most of those views right now because I just kept watching it. Well, I kept clicking on the video trying to figure out if it was actually 4K, and yes, it is uploaded 4K. You know, I have something on my computer called Advanced System Care. It's an app from the Microsoft Store, I want to say. And pretty much what it does, it's very cool. In that app, you can also clean your computer up and everything, but you can also set a certain app to go above everything else, including above the system itself. Excuse me, including above the system itself. So I did that for my computer. And it was at 6 hours for exportation, and it brought it down to 3, I think. Yeah, I think 3. Okay. So, yeah, it's cool. But I also couldn't do nothing with the computer. So, would this video be 4K? Probably. Most of my videos might be 4K from now on, because since I can make it go faster, like if there was no way that I could make it go faster, like, you know, if there was no way I could make it, there was no way I could make it. If I had to let it export for 6 hours, yeah, none of my videos would be 4K, probably. But yeah, let's go. Let's go. It's gonna be it's 46 minutes, 30 seconds.
The following
video.
reading contains subject matter that some listeners might find disturbing or difficult to hear. Listener discretion is advised.
Okay. But if y'all hear anything in the background, it's my grandfather editing the Sunday sermon for the day. So, yeah. And if y'all also hear anything in the background, it's probably him calling my name. I'm having both of these in. That's loud. I wasn't even reading any of that. Oh well, it's written by Magpie Pony. I did hear that. I did see that. Mary Medley, the life on Cloud 9. Okay, it was freaking put together. Okay, Pegasus. Yeah, whatever. Okay, Snuggbug ASMR, good Scooter Tricks, MLPRs. Okay. Scribbler Productions is in this. Okay. And those other two with Magpie Party and the Lost Narrator. Another Apple Sleep experiment. I don't know if I've ever seen the original Apple Sleep experiment. Sorry. I don't know if I've ever seen the original. No, maybe I have. I don't know. It was uploaded recently too, 2 weeks ago. Wow.
Autumn in Ponyville. While the rest of Equestria readied themselves for Nightmare Night the next month, Ponyville busied themselves with preparations for their memorial. Commemoration was the name it was given by the princesses years ago, as it was the only title that seemed appropriate. Although this year marked the 7th anniversary of the memorial's creation, it was still a sore spot for most Ponyvillians.
No, that's not Octavia.
It was created in lieu of cider season.
Looking at that middle pony.
Once active Sweet Apple Acres, commemoration is a time to reflect and honor those who were lost to the Great Massacre. Most ponies were never truly given a satisfying reason for the senseless killings all those years ago. The princesses remained as tight-lipped as the survivors did. Eventually, between Twilight's reassurances and the lack of new victims, fear and anxiety in Ponyville slowly ebbed. It was Twilight who initially proposed the memorial in hopes that it would ease the pain and bring normalcy back to Ponyville.
It won't.
Of course, in doing so, she and...
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah, I might have to, I'm gonna have to set up like this, ain't I? Y'all won't be able to hear me. My back is hurting and I'm trying to figure out a way to do this without having to lean up the entire time like I normally do for my videos. You know what? Freak it.
And her friends had become the
I'll just do extra editing, that's fine.
unofficial conductors of the memorial.
It's not really fine with me, I'm just
They
saying it is for some reason.
by making each year better than the last. It was the evening before the festivities, and magic was ringing in the halls of the Castle of Friendship.
That artwork, though?
2 unicorns, and a Pegasus were scrambling to finish their decoration contributions.
Fluttershy looks so tired. I ain't gonna lie, Fluttershy looks
of the
tired.
throne room, Fluttershy was attempting to place a thick purple drape, adorned with ribbons, upon the rafters, according to Rarity's specifications. A task that seemed easy enough, had it not been for Rarity's refusal to settle for anything less than perfection.
No, 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 that simply will not do.
Rarity shrilly called to the pale yellow Pegasus. Fluttershy sighed in frustration, lowering her hoof and holding back the urge to roll her eyes.
What's wrong this time?
I won't hide no urge.
Fluttershy called back to her friend in exasperation, wondering how Rarity
mean,
could be so far away, yet still see some imagined imperfection for the placement of said drapery. Rarity didn't seem to catch or mind the Pegasus's tone.
It's a quarter of
that bonbon on that looks like
an inch
bonbon.
too far to the right. Even I can see that. While I am grateful for your help, Fluttershy, you know how flawlessly decorated the castle must be for our future guests.
Rarity called out, hoping her friend would follow and agree with her logic.
Did you get the X? Is it the X?
She looked away from the ceiling for a moment
Rarity's the X.
to finish the stitch she had started on the vast tapestry draped over her hooves. The tapestry was 20 feet in length and nearly took up the entire mapless table in the center of the room.
Mapless table?
Along with the complicated
Where's the map at, bro?
And the
Where's
bright,
the map?
appealing colors, Bonbon's silhouette took center stage in the piece, her name expertly sewn beneath it.
Why,
when Fluttershy didn't echo Rarity's logic, Rarity turned to Twilight to back up her statement.
Wouldn't you agree, Twilight?
Twilight Sparkle, the princess of friendship,
that face,
didn't
Twilight.
seem to heed the growing
that
tension
face.
between her friends as she busied herself with a checklist.
No, I'm not.
It was nearly as long as Rarity's unfinished masterpiece. She glanced up from her scroll, tired eyes locking on the unicorn, before following her gaze to the drapery above.
It looks great, Rarity.
Twilight muttered absently.
She don't care.
As the quill
Twilight
in her
does not
magic
care.
jotted down yet another unchecked
Let's be honest
task.
with ourselves. Twilight doesn't
Just move
care.
it slightly to the left, Fluttershy, and you'll be good. We really don't have time to fuss over silly details like that.
Starlight,
what you doing with that hammer and chisel?
Like a mother scolding her misbehaving children.
No, what you doing with that hammer and chisel?
Starlight's horn was aglow, and she was busying herself with ice picks and a giant slab of ice. She'd been sculpting
That's gonna
for
melt.
the better part of an
it's
hour
ice.
now,
It's gonna melt.
and she took great pride in the art that she was able to create.
You know what?
thus
Whatever.
far.
Starlight, do your
The
thing.
sculpture showcased each of the fallen, and Starlight only hesitated for a moment when she reached for the smooth surface of ice where the 14th pony would be. Starlight's
what is that
heart
about,
panged,
though? Who is that?
Stomach clenched. She swallowed back a burp of bile, knowing that it would do no good to bring up her objections for the 6th consecutive year. This memorial had become a staple in the lives of the Ponyvillians.
I don't know why they gave me so many
Ponies
chills.
understandably wanted the 14th pony remembered and honored, even if, unbeknownst to them, she was the pony who had slaughtered the rest. Rarity bristled at Starlight's comment, dismissing her initial statement.
And how exactly do you suppose that the ice sculpture won't melt by tomorrow?
Rarity asked, and though the...
Okay, guys. So, I'm gonna keep the video playing. But what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be taking off my boots and switching into some other shoes, okay? So, yeah. Why? Because these boots are for work and I don't want to get them messed up or anything like that. And if I go outside later today, I don't want to get them messed up. So, I'm gonna put on some other shoes. So just ignore me, okay? And if I have to say anything, I'll rush to the mic and say it. Just letting y'all know what I am doing. I will try to find my shoes. I don't know where they are. I'll try to find them. Anyways, Let's go.
The question
But who's going to be the 14th pony? Before I do, who's going to be the 14th pony? Will we ever get that answer? I hope so. And who are all these other ponies? Who are all these? Am I screaming? I'm screaming. Who are these ponies?
was genuine. Her tone reflected her inner bitterness.
I've done my research. There's a spell that prevents ice from melting. I found it in an old book in the library.
Starlight answered tactfully and devoid of annoyance.
Well, that answers my question then.
Still, Rarity was unimpressed.
One of my questions, not all of them.
Fluttershy said nothing, secured the drape in place, and flew back to the ground before Rarity could protest yet again. Rarity pursed her lips to the side in defeat. She was clearly outnumbered.
It'll do.
Clearly outnumbered.
Next, I'll have you hang the floral arrangements.
Fluttershy's ears dropped, along with her stomach. Just when she finally felt freed from Rarity's discerning eye, she was thrust back into the thick of it again.
My shoes were literally under the table, right where my feet are. So I got the... I haven't worn these in a while. They were $60. I haven't worn them in a while. They're Adidas. They're Adidas. They're not basketball shoes like I like, but yeah. Also, they're really dirty, so... Anyways.
Starlight rolled her eyes and put the finishing touch on the final sculpture. As much as she would have loved to take a step back and reflect on the ice sculpture's mastery, Starlight instead turned away from it. She was hoping no pony would notice its completion, so she wouldn't have to be reminded of that final face. However, a Pegasus desperate to get out of hope
I wasn't listening, so I'm gonna rewind.
no pony would notice its completion. Loved to take a step back and reflect on the ice sculpture's mastery. Starlight instead turned away from it. She was hoping no pony would notice its completion, so she wouldn't have to be reminded of that final face. However, a Pegasus desperate to get out of floral hanging duty was only too pleased to offer up a compliment.
It's lovely.
Fluttershy said with an encouraging smile.
Fluttershy about to get
She
her
trailed
next
off a little
snap.
when she too saw the 14th face. Seeing that confident, unbridled joy on that frozen, lifeless face
Who's the
was
face?
too much for her delicate
Tell me.
sensibilities. She could do nothing but
Who is
suffer
the
the
face?
impact of the tidal wave of grief.
Who is...
I miss her.
Fluttershy state
Is it Applejack? I know Applejack was in Sleep Experiment, or Apple Sleep Experiment. Literally, Apple is in the title. Did I say Apple? I'll find out if I said Apple in the beginning. I'll find that out in editing whenever I edit the video. Did I say that? There's no way I overlooked that. I had to just skip the word, just didn't say the word. There's no way I didn't say Apple. There's no way I didn't. I probably did.
hung
It's
in the
Applejack.
air like a
It's
dead
Applejack.
weight.
Of course it's Applejack.
Rarity, Twilight, and Starlight paused whatever they were doing
It's in
to
the title.
linger in the awkward silence.
If
While
it's
they
not Applejack, I'll be surprised.
simultaneously stared at the ice. Unlike Starlight's bitterness and Fluttershy's grief, Twilight
wrong with
was
Starlight's face,
grappling
bro?
with a deep-seated guilt. It may have been several years since she had last seen that pony's face, but she could
Applejack.
never
Just say
forget their
Applejack.
final conversation.
We know who it is now.
Applejack, I don't know what you're talking about. There was no potion. You worked yourself too.
Okay, I have seen this one. I remember that thumbnail. I've seen it. It's a pretty long video, actually. How long is it? If y'all want me... An hour and 15 minutes, 31 seconds. If y'all want me to see the original Apple Sleep Experiment... What? Experiment. They're two different things. If y'all want me to see the original and Apple Sleep Experiment, let me know in the comments down below. I know I'm going out of order. Shut up. Oh, this is part one of another Apple Sleep Experiment. Oh, okay.
Too hard and it caused a mental break.
I'm deleting this video. I thought it was
Twilight
watch
could
later, but
only
it wasn't.
speculate how painful
move and play
those
this.
words,
Appreciate
those lies, must have been for the former element of honesty. When she reflected on that day, she still wasn't sure what compelled her to leave her former best friend in such a callous way. On better nights, she could justify her
Is that ice
actions
right
by
there? Like, what
remembering how
is that to the
important
right, bro?
friendship is
What is that?
for other ponies in Equestria to embrace.
What is that?
Even if she, Princess of Friendship, had failed her friend, she could still turn it into a
You
lesson.
failed more than your
She
friend.
impressed upon others
You
the
failed on
importance
life.
of what she had learned, and hoped that it would be enough to prevent something like this from ever happening again. If she was found culpable, it would create a lasting and damaging effect to the ideals she was supposed to uphold. Even so, the profound, painful grip of remorse would never let her truly forget that it was her choice to leave Applejack the way she did. So, Twilight resigned
I gotta
herself
watch
to
an
an
Appleseed
unspoken
experiment again.
atonement
If y'all want
and
me to
guard
watch it,
over
comment down below.
Ponyville like an immoral
My goodness.
century. She took the role
I
so
forgot all about it.
serious, in fact, that she turned down her former teacher's request to rule all of Equestria and allow the royal sisters to retire. The silence in the throne room had now lingered for too long, but no pony was willing to be the first to break it. Luckily, the double doors across the way burst open and ended the silence for them. A bright pink earth pony
My heart it just skipped so many beats right there. I wasn't expecting to get jump scared. I got jump scared in the last video. I was not expecting to get jump scared in this one, bro. Oh man, that's creepy.
paraded into the room.
Oh man.
She triumphantly pushed a large dessert cart into view.
Oh man, my knuckle hit the freaking chair, man. Ow.
Pinkie Pie called out joyously with a voice so powerful it could have alerted the entire castle. She hurriedly pushed the cart towards the others to show
I
off
just
the
got
various
tired all of a sudden.
cupcakes,
Oh my
pies,
goodness.
custards, pastries, and the elaborate four-tiered cake that she had prepared in the
Four
castle's
tiers?
kitchens.
Oh
Dang.
my, you made more?
Fluttershy asked
More.
nervously, her eyes beholding the trove of sugary delights, with more horror than appreciation.
I don't know how many ponies are coming.
Oh, nah. Pinkie Pie, we gonna have issues. Anyways, I'm shaking up the drink because it's mixing up the flavor. Anyways.
Delights, with more horror than appreciation.
I don't know how many ponies are coming to the party, and I want every pony to try as many different desserts as they'd like.
Pinkie answered swiftly, blissfully
Okay.
unaware of Fluttershy's skepticism.
There are only so many ponies in Ponyville.
Starlight said pointedly.
Fluttershy,
She
what is wrong with
glowered
your
at
eyes,
the ever-growing mountain of desserts.
True, but that doesn't count the ponies of Canterlot, Cloudsdale, the Crystal Empire, Trottingham, Hoofy.
Okay, Fluttershy's psychotic. Look at her head. It's turned all the way around. Nah.
Appaloosa?
Fluttershy's
Wait,
gonna
what?
be the evil one.
Twilight interjected, finally resting her quill to join the conversation.
I'm just so super
That's a lot of
terrifically
fruits.
nervous
Or
excited
fruits,
for the
that's a lot of
party.
snacks.
I sense
My bad.
girls everywhere. This year's celebration will be so big. Party. I sense girls everywhere. This
I thought she said she senses girls everywhere. She sensed girls everywhere. No, she said she sent scrolls everywhere.
year's celebration will be so big
My goodness.
that all of Equestria will commemorate with us. Rememberate? Commemorate. I can never remember what it's called. So get
She's a
those
psycho,
taste
bruh.
testers tester ready. It's time for my next course of creamy, dreamy cupcakes.
There was a collective churn of stomachs in the room at the mention of trying Pinkie's desserts. She had started
Why?
baking 3 days ago and hadn't stopped. It wouldn't have been so unbearable if she hadn't been so insistent on her friends trying and approving each new batch. Every pony was well beyond their tolerance of concentrated sugar.
I have every flavor you could possibly think of. Strawberry, raspberry, boysenberry, bumbleberry, banana, orange, blue, and...
Pinkie stopped mid-rapid ramble, and her demeanor instantly dropped.
The apples. Say it, apples.
She'd unintentionally told a lie by declaring that she had made every flavor. There was one flavor she had purposely left out,
The apple flavor.
a flavor and ingredient that she would never use again. Ponies had asked her periodically why she no longer baked apple desserts, but she would simply state that apples reminded her too much of sadness. and the subject would be dropped immediately. Once again, the silence hung in the air, but this time was cut short by the sound of a speedy Pegasus zipping through the open
Rainbow
doors
Dash!
and
Yo, Dash!
completing the circle of friends.
What you gonna look like?
Sorry I'm late!
That's a nice model. Oh my god, that's a nice model.
We're planning or decorating or something, right?
Rainbow Dash asked, hovering over her throne chair around the circular table. Rarity scrunched up her face in disapproval.
The rest of us certainly have been. We've been here since dawn and still have so far to go. This is only the 10th tapestry, you know. I'll have to stay up all night to finish the rest. What could possibly have been more important than this?
Me and the Wonderbolts
The
were...
Wonderbolts and I.
Whatever. We were practicing the routine that we were gonna perform
Twilight.
tomorrow, and I wanted to make sure that it was just right. And then, well...
Reminds me of whenever Twilight said the Wonderbolts and I, you know, corrected her grammar, which I would say me and the Wonderbolts. I don't care. It sounds perfectly fine to me. Anyways, it reminds me of that episode of Ask Ponies. If y'all know what I'm talking about, comment down below.
Spitfire made this comment about how I was gonna tire myself out, and I said that even with all the practice, I could still whoop her race. And, well...
Are they just gonna let her slide with that
it
word?
kinda turned into me racing all the Wonderbolts to prove my point.
Rainbow admitted with a guilty smile.
My animals haven't been fed all day. We really could have used your help.
Fluttershy interjected.
They're just gonna let her say that word. No, this right here is My Little Pony off camera. You don't know. No, My Little Pony, whenever they're filming, nah, they different. Whenever they off camera, oh, they turn into something else.
In exasperation.
They turn into
And
something
Rainbow was surprised
else.
to see her, of all ponies, aggravated at her absence.
It's true.
She knew it must be serious if Fluttershy was frustrated.
I'm sorry. I'm here now, and I'm still not too tired to help. Here, I'll hang these.
Rainbow said,
Rarity's
gathering
gonna get
some
mad.
of the bouquets on the ground and zooming
Someone's
around
gonna
the
get mad.
room. Rarity's eyes widened in horror. She trusted Rainbow at least to hang her floral arrangements just right. She tried to protest, but Twilight spoke first.
That'll save us some time. Since Pinkie Pie
She looks
apparently
more tired.
invited all of Equestria, we had to get these tasks done as quickly as possible. I divided our duties into separate lists.
Twilight said, horrifying the bunch by levitating long scrolls of
Pinkie Pie
checklist
looks.
items
Oh man,
to each
Pinkie
of
Pie
her
looks.
friends.
Ugh.
If we get started now, we should finish about an hour before the celebration begins.
Sure wish a certain little assistant was around to help us.
Rarity grumbled bitterly while eyeing her task list.
But I suppose one does have to leave the nest eventually and forge a path all their own.
Don't worry, Rarity. Every pony is invited, and we can catch up all day tomorrow.
Pinkie exclaimed happily, rolling the checklist and depositing it into her mane,
They
as
all
if to
look
glean
mean,
the
bro.
information
They all
on
look
the
mad.
scroll through osmosis.
But
Why are you zooming on
first,
that freaking
we've got work
Starlight
to do.
cutie mark? Well, first of all, they did a terrible job of covering up Applejack's cutie mark. But wow.
A collective sound of sighing around the room was followed by various admissions of agreement. It was going to be a long night.
When's the horror going to get started? Come on. This is good so far. I like it. I gotta see the first
hours
one.
ticked by, and eventually, Twilight Sparkle found herself hunched over a
Well, I found when the horror's going to be starting.
desk in her
I
bedroom.
found the horror.
Her eyes were transfixed on the specific scroll laid out in front of
I
her.
have found the
while
horror.
a quill, held aloft in magic, waited for the next cue. Twilight broke a moment of long, unblinking concentration when the candle she had ignited to write by snuffed itself out, its wax spent. She ignited a new candle inside, crumpling the parchment in her magic and tossing it aside with the other discarded failures. Twilight
Dang,
peered at
just
the
failures.
task list she had meticulously written for herself. But the nagging feeling in her stomach prevented her from moving past the little checkbox labeled, "Write the hostess speech to start the memorial." She knew that it had to be just right, Somehow, she had to convey that it was okay to celebrate the lives of their loved ones and still feel sorrow for their absence. She needed every pony to feel safe, secure, and protected by their princess. She also needed to stress the importance of friendship during trying times like these, and that was the part tripping her up the most. Just as Twilight pulled a new clean scroll from her desk drawer to start again, she heard frantic hooves pounding against the stone floor. The sound was growing increasingly louder as they approached from down the hall. Typically, Starlight Glimmer would graciously knock before interrupting her mentor.
Don't jump
but
scare
there was
me.
no hesitation now when she burst through the bedroom doors.
Okay,
Twilight
good.
saw the terrified look on Starlight's face and whirled around to face her.
Here's the horror.
Aside from the panic, the only thing Twilight noted out of place was the scroll held too tightly in Starlight's magic, hovering nearby.
Starlight? What's...
Starlight didn't answer, but magicked the scroll to the princess so hastily it almost collided into her face. Twilight dodged the throw, taking the scroll from Starlight's magic into her own before scanning the semi-crumpled urgent message. As she read, reality refused to sink in. Only a few key words and phrases stuck out in the unicorn's mind. Escaped. A struggle. The Canterlot guards can't recall the past few days. She was living in a waking nightmare, and each word she read pulled her deeper into that soul-shattering terror. Twilight reread the scroll once, then twice again in a silent panic, while the distressed Starlight waited on bated breath for what to do next. When the princess didn't pull her darting eyes away or speak, Starlight finally interjected.
If it's been days, she could be in Ponyville by now.
Twilight glanced up at Starlight with pinprick pupils. Despite the bile rising in her throat, she forced herself to remain calm and take back control of the situation before her own fears and guilt incapacitated her completely.
Thought I heard
We need to
someone.
get
Never
word
mind.
to the girls. They're the only ones who know that Applejack is still alive and...
Twilight stopped abruptly when she and Starlight
I just realized. Took me like a few seconds to understand, but Twilight just said the girls, main six, I'm assuming, are the only ones that know that AJ is still alive.
both
Okay.
heard rustling from above.
Alright.
The
Okay.
sound was muffled, but both mares' minds spiraled with all the possibilities. Was it an open window? Was it hoof steps? Was it something
Both.
knocked over in haste? Neither of them could be sure, but both feared the worst.
I'll check it out.
Starlight said, vanishing before Twilight could respond.
These different art styles are
Twilight's
amazing.
heart was racing.
Why are they all different? I don't
and
know, but
beads
they're
of
amazing.
sweat formed on her brow. How could this be possible? How could Applejack escape? Perhaps Applejack's story.
Okay, wait, we are at 2028. Actually, no, I ain't gonna do that. I was gonna go back to that 3D Twilight anime right there, that picture right there, and I was gonna take a screenshot of it. But if I do that, then it's gonna take a screenshot of all of this other stuff, so I'll just do it in editing. That might be my thumbnail. I don't know, but it might be. I'm thinking ahead. I gotta calm down. I'm thinking
Softened the
ahead.
heart
I gotta
of
calm
one of
down.
the guards, and he helped her escape. But even if she had escaped Canterlot's prison, where would she go?
They're not
What
talking
would
about
she
AJ. They can't
do?
be.
How would she react
Maybe they
to
are.
seeing her friends again? How would she
I don't know.
react to seeing Twilight again? Twilight's heart was beating fast and loud
Oh, AJ,
now,
that's AJ.
but
They're
she
talking
felt
about
as
AJ.
though she were trapped in the belly of a great drum. She realized that she had been useless.
Maybe Spike's trapped in your belly. That's why we haven't seen him yet. Y'all remember that one creepypasta or grimdark reading? Yeah.
Pacing for an unknown amount of time, just trying to grapple with the cast.
By the way, I'm sorry for pausing. Alright, y'all can skip this. Y'all can skip to the actual video. If I remember, which I'm editing, so I'll be able to see this, I'll put a timestamp, right, somewhere on screen of where y'all can go. Not here. Actually, nah, don't worry about that. I ain't gonna do that. Don't worry about that, because it ain't gonna be long. It might be long. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Well, free. Oh yeah, y'all remember that one creepy grimdark? Wait, that's not what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, what I was gonna say. Sorry, I might edit all of this out. Anyways, so y'all know. Am I okay? Am I okay? Am I okay? My brain is dying. I know what I want to say now. Hold up. Almost this bottle right here. Yep, that part right there. Almost missed my lip, and I almost spilled everything all over me. That would have been very cold and very not pleasant. So I was going to record this at nighttime, but since I'm uploading my videos in 4K, that would take a while. So I'm not going to do that. But let's go.
Skating horrified
I'm still uploading in 4K, but I'm not recording this at night. And also I got to work tomorrow,
thoughts
so
of what was to come. Blinking a few times, she forced her hooves into action, praying that she could devise some sort of plan to fix this egregious mistake.
You can't.
Twilight learned long ago never to underestimate what Applejack was capable of, and knew that she would need specific supplies before she began the hunt.
Do not underestimate, or
she
you will
raced to
die,
the far
Twilight.
side of the bedroom
Just letting you know.
and ignited her horn. She had to ignore the hiccup lapses of magic from sheer anxiety to find the specific stone in the wall behind her bed. The stone pressed deeper into the wall with magic as the bed began to rumble. Slowly, a platform under the bed gave way to a secret set of stone steps leading to a dark room below.
I don't like
Twilight
that.
galloped down the steps, 2 at a time,
Nope.
as torches along the walls ignited to shine her way forward.
You say 2 at a
She
time.
stopped at
Okay.
the bottom,
I get it.
skidding on her hooves
2 at a time with
at the
torches.
horrifying sight. There, on the ground, laid the remnants of a magical lock that was used to secure her secret laboratory entrance. More terrifying still was the light pouring in from behind the door, slightly ajar.
I'm gonna take my camera, make sure I'm still recording.
The clatter of glass slamming into a wooden surface from within sent a new wave of anxiety through Twilight. It ripped through her like a lightning bolt. She pressed forward,
Come on, Twilight,
the door
don't.
open to see the horrible reality in the flesh.
Don't jump scare me.
Applejack.
Oh! 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 Oh, AJ, you don't look so good. You don't look that well. What's foaming at your mouth? That like chemicals or something? You don't look so good. They're like you starving too. You don't look that well. Twilight, be smart now and teleport out of there. You have a horn, you can teleport. Do that or blow her to pieces. She looks really weak and also really strong at the same time, but you can kill her.
The
no one will
orange
miss her.
earth pony who had
I won't
haunted
miss
her
her.
thoughts and dreams for 7 long and languishing years was standing unabashedly amongst the collection of empty
Unabashedly? What does that mean?
bottles. Her fur was pale, almost cream-colored from the lack of sunlight. The wounds that once marred her coat had healed into a series of scars, some fresher looking than others. Her standing gait was still irregular from the bones in her back hooves setting wrong all those years ago.
What happened to
Dark
you?
circles lined sunken eyes.
I have to watch the
and
first
the
one.
unmistakable lack of nourishment left the earth pony looking almost skeletal.
Yeah. We going out of order. Shut up. I'm watching this first one. It's going to be a long video whenever I do. Yeah. Watch later. Yeah, I'm watching this first one. I don't care. I'm watching that first one. It's going to be a long video, but I'm watching it. Let's go.
With fur clasped tightly
I
to
have
the
to know.
frail frame.
And remember, this is only part 1 of this one, so I'll be doing part 2 as well whenever it comes
Twilight
out.
opened her mouth to speak, but no words would come. Thoughts wouldn't solidify. Her body refused to move. How did she get in? Did she use the other passage? What happened to the lock? It was supposed to keep every pony out. to keep her work secret and safe.
What? Okay, wait a minute. I think I just settled it. Okay, for a second there, I thought they were meaning, which they could still be meaning this, and if so, what? I thought they were meaning Twilight kept Applejack in there to experiment on Applejack. That's what I thought. But maybe Applejack came in there. No, that can't be. Maybe Applejack broke the lock somehow and came in there, which Applejack is strong, but look how weak she is now. I don't know. But maybe Applejack somehow broke the lock and found a way to get in and disrupt the chemicals or what? No. There's no way. But then again, excuse me, there is a way, because if the door was open, Applejack could have ran out. She didn't. Unless Twilight got there in time before. But no, Twilight, you see her, she had to run down a whole hallway, and Applejack didn't even try to get out. So maybe Applejack broke in there somehow, or maybe I'm still on the idea that maybe Twilight had AJ in there trying to like experiment on her or something. I don't know. But then how would the main six know she's alive? There is so much. I'm sorry. There's so much.
Finally caught me, huh? Applejack said. Her voice was far removed from the happy country-tinged accent that Twilight once knew. Now...
Okay, so yeah, I think Applejack broke into the room. Applejack must have broken into the room.
There was a deep graggle and a roughness akin to some pony dying of thirst. Gotta say, I thought you'd be here sooner. Suits me just fine, though.
Dang.
Yes, ma'am. That dirty little secret you've been trying to hide for years. Bet you thought I'd just fade into obscurity by now, huh?
Yes.
Not. Applejack turned away from the stunned princess to clasp another potion bottle by the neck. She didn't hesitate, tilting her head back as she brought the rim of the bottle to her mouth. The swirling purple liquid disappeared past her lips and into her gullet in 2 deep gulps. With a satisfied exhale, the Earth Pony mockingly licked her lips for any excess potion that may have lingered there. Twilight didn't know how it was possible to be even more horrified than before, but seeing that carelessness provoked a panicked outcry.
No! What are you doing? You don't know what that potion does!
Huh. Guess I'll have to figure that out now, won't I? Applejack said, her demeanor eerily calm and...
Yeah, AJ broke into the room. AJ, also Twilight, your face is more horrifying than AJ probably. But AJ broke into the room. Okay, that answers my question.
Devoid of concern.
Why?
It's been so long. I can't remember what it looks like. What color. What consistency. I need it.
Of what? The potion?
I need to feel that again.
Of the potion or of her fur?
Pour over your incessant drivel.
Of her fur or of the potion?
Applejack
AJ, answer the question.
To the bookshelf of journals that lined the laboratory walls. Twilight had recorded every potion and observation of their effects. It was a lifetime of work, and Applejack would have been there for hours. AJ kept piercing eye contact with Twilight as her hoof slowly reached for yet another unlabeled and unknown potion bottle. She was able to flick the stopper from the top and hold it aloft in her hoof, but this time was thwarted by a blast of magic. The magic shattered the glass and caused the Earth Pony to recoil. Twilight had firmly planted her hooves on the cold stone ground, a renewed sense of focus apparent in her horrified and worried expression.
You're looking for the sleepless potion? That's what started this mess! It's why you've been locked away! Why you killed all those ponies! Why in Equestria would you think I would keep that?
Twilight demanded, tears staining her cheeks, as her guilt roared itself to the forefront of her mind.
I have to watch the first one. I have to watch the first one.
Throw out a chance to study something. I may be out of touch, but I ain't stupid. Applejack snarled, casually brushing the pieces of shattered vial from her fur.
You've consumed all of those?
Twilight gasped in horror, her eyes finally beholding the graveyard of discarded bottles, beakers, and vials around her laboratory. She stuttered in disbelief.
But not all of my potions are for ponies. There are several that can't be ingested.
Well, guess you better hope that these kill me then, huh? Dangerous to combine so much magic. I can only imagine the I'm in for if I drink the wrong ones. Not
She don't care.
Of course. I suppose death is another way out of this you saddled me with. Twilight couldn't help but shudder at the unemotional way Applejack shirked off her own uncertain doom. Her eyes quickly scanned the potion bottles that remained, but she couldn't be sure if that one was among them or not.
Was that Scribbler? I don't know if that sounded like a different voice.
But she couldn't be sure if that one was among them or not.
Sounded like Scribbler. I don't know. Anyways.
Does that make me the experimenter? Or the experiment? AJ asked rhetorically as she reached for yet another potion bottle.
I don't know how to answer
Twilight
that, AJ.
didn't hesitate, focusing her magical blast at the next potion to stop her.
Blast
This
AJ.
time, however, Applejack was able to move quickly to the side and avoid the stream of magic. 1 second, she was standing a few feet from the princess.
What's AJ gonna look like on
Another,
this
she
one?
was across the room, bracing herself against a wall. Twilight's magic had landed on the bookshelf, destroying some of her journals. Singed pages fluttered about the room. Both ponies were initially stunned by Applejack's
looks so
newfound
cool.
agility, but AJ's surprise melted into
And AJ's eyes are green. Hold up. Her eyes are normally green. I knew that. Wrong one. Wrong video. Wrong one. Alright, we good.
sheer delight. Super speed? Well, that's awfully handy. You've been holding out, Twi. What would Rainbow think if she knew you had something like this all along?
Drop it!
Twilight screamed.
What'd she say?
All along.
Drop it!
Twilight
drop it.
screamed as she ignited her horn again, her crosshairs on Applejack's new position. If you say so. Applejack answered with a shrug, taking the potion in her hoof and smashing it against the floor. A great plume of green smoke overtook the room instantly, and Twilight reared back,
AJ's gone.
inhaling the gaseous byproduct with a gasp. The immediate burning sensation in her nostrils started a wave of guttural coughing, so loud that she almost missed what Applejack said next. Ooh, boy! Hot in vision, too? Twilight Sparkle, you've outdone yourself. Twilight gritted her teeth and tried suppressing the burning in her throat to find the earth pony through the haze. She ignited her horn, but
Okay, that art style is trash. I'm just gonna say that
The
now.
light-
And I also want to say right now that the art style is bad. In my opinion, not the artist. The artists, this art style is pretty sick. But the art style is just so blocky and I don't like it. I just want to point that out. Enjoy the rest of the video.
was useless against the thick green fog that
Looks so
lingered.
stupid.
To the left,
horn looks cool,
Twilight heard the
but it looks
sound of
stupid, I'm just
glass
saying. I had
sliding
to say
into AJ's hoof. Despite the limited visibility, it seemed that
So
AJ
far,
was
that's the
still
artwork I don't
going
like.
to down
Hate
as
it.
much potion as she could find.
But why would you
Twilight
do that,
knew
AJ?
she had to take action, and that it
Psycho.
was better to stop Applejack than
Also, didn't you already drink all the potions or no?
try and salvage her work. So, deeply chagrined, Twilight blasted magic in that direction, wincing at the sound of her precious equipment exploding on impact. Applejack laughed in response, clearly unharmed. Her voice was now coming from the right side of the room. Twilight whirled around again, desperate to stop her. It became very apparent that AJ was enjoying her new speed and sight as her voice bounced from one side of the room to the other. What's wrong? Having trouble aiming? Now why'd you go and shoot over there? Are you blind and dumb? Applejack continued on,
I am so glad I had both of the AirPods in. I'm so glad I did that.
unscathed and unceasing.
Something told me to do that.
Twilight
So glad I did
was
that.
on autopilot now, striking every direction she could with a singular stream of magic.
Yeah, why singular? Like, why not just, you know, like, or, You know, like a single string? That was stupid, I know. Shut
The
up.
lab became a magical frenzy as potions, books, machinery, and equipment exploded in disarray. Still, the princess knew she couldn't react. She couldn't afford to lose her concentration. However, the longer Twilight struggled, the more confident Applejack became. AJ delighted in adding to the chaos by smashing more potions onto the unforgiving stone floor. They each created new plumes of colorful smoke that consumed the room to keep her concealed.
Stop!
Twilight screamed in a fit of coughing, collapsing to the floor for the hope of some shred of fresh air that lingered there. Her magic was only making things worse, and the swirling colors of the room were so thick,
AJ!
it looked as though she could grasp the very air in her hooves. Twilight shakily and slowly pulled herself up again. She'd given up the hope of finding a clean breath, and did the only thing her brain could think of: chase Applejack.
That
on
art style
hoof.
looks similar to the
In her
FNAF.
clump
That
on
art style
hoof.
looks similar to the
In her
FNAF. That art
on
style
hoof.
looks similar to the
In her
FNAF.
clumsy, desperate.
That art style looks similar to the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, is what I was going to say. That art style looks similar to the MLP movie.
Pursuit. She ran into just about
Oh,
every
it's been
piece
a
of furniture
long
that
morning,
still
right?
remained in the laboratory. Unseen objects
2:26.
nicked at her fur. Her mane and tail would occasionally
7.
catch on some kind
Whatever.
of hanging debris, and little shards of broken potion bottles bit into her hooves. No matter where she turned, AJ was one step ahead, taunting and laughing at her frenzied flails.
You couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. You gotta be quicker than that, Twi. Gonna let me get away? Oh, you're not even trying. You gotta want it. That secret of yours is coming out tonight. What's Ponyville gonna think?
Eventually, Twilight heard Applejack's hoofsteps rapidly ascending the stone stairs towards the bedroom. Applejack was escaping again, and Twilight was no closer to finding her than she was the door leading out. Panicked, she reached forward, her hooves colliding into the wooden table that had previously avoided the carnage. The splintered
Yep.
pieces raking
Had a
across
feeling.
the flesh of her torso and forelegs as she fell. The impact of the fall disoriented Twilight, and the smoke inhalation was causing an unparalleled dizziness. Her ears were ringing loudly, but through its shrill scream, she still heard another beaker burst. Liquid splashed on her front hooves, but the sensation turned from wet to cold, then sharp to scorching in mere seconds. Twilight cried out in pain as she heard the sizzle, then felt the burn of acid eating her flesh. Still, she couldn't stop now. Nothing else mattered but getting to and stopping.
Applejack. Not only were ponies in danger,
But her secret shame would be laid bare for
all the world to see. What horrible consequences would follow.
That is
How
Scribbler,
many
by the
more
way.
ponies would have to die before Twilight would succumb to the reality that AJ
Applejack was beyond saving in any
capacity. As Twilight struggled to find her bearings again, a scream from above pierced through the mist. It was a horrifying scream of terror that snapped Twilight out of flight response and into fight response. With renewed focus, she teleported herself from the mess below.
Magpie Pony. I see in the beginning that you wrote this. I'm going to double check before I say anything. We're at 3501. All right.
Is advised.
3501. So 35 minutes. A story written by Magpie Pony. Yeah, so Magpie. I know you're doing this just to drag it out. I know.
Teleported herself from the
Everyone always does this to drag out the story, you know. Character can teleport, but yeah, they don't teleport the danger until the danger passed and they teleport. Like, I know you're doing it just to drag the story out, but come on. Makes me mad. It really does. I know it adds to the plot, adds to the climax. I know it does. It adds to a lot of things, but never mind. Let's just go.
The mess below.
She
Her
could have
horn still
teleported.
hiccuping with unstable magic. She tried to trace the origin
Unstable
of the
magic.
sound
What? When?
and appeared just outside of Starlight Glimmer's room.
Starlight! It's
Ooh!
Applejack! She's in the castle!
Twilight screamed, pulling the handle of the door, only to find it wouldn't budge. Twilight slammed her body against the door, hoping it would give way, but it remained firm.
Starlight! Let me in!
Twilight shouted, pleading with the mare who she could clearly hear tussling with some pony else from within. When more
that's the door right
slams
there,
to the
okay.
door didn't give way, she backed off and blasted it with magic.
You could have done that before.
However, her spell instantly deflected, as if it met an invisible magical shield.
Never mind.
Ricocheted and whizzed over Twilight's head, colliding into one of the
So
castle pillars behind
Starlight
her.
did something
Twilight
probably,
jumped
but
aside
why?
when the pillar collapsed into a pile of gemstone textured debris.
Replace me, do ya?
Twilight heard Applejack's voice behind the
Oh, she dead. Oh, Starlight is dead. Y'all remember in the beginning where Starlight's cutie mark was over Applejack's? Oh, that's why they were zooming into that. Oh, Starlight is beyond dead. Starlight is dead. What happened to AJ? I don't know, but Starlight is dead. AJ psychotic, Starlight dead. Holy crap. Okay, well, let's continue.
the door.
Starlight
and she grew
dead.
more desperate. The crumbling pillar beside
Or is Starlight going to become evil like Applejack now? Does he gotta think about? Actually, Starlight's dead. AJ ain't gonna transform Starlight into whatever AJ become. Nah. AJ's gonna kill Starlight. It's over.
her
Starlight
gave her a
dead.
frantic but potentially
long
helpful
video.
idea.
I told you it would
She
be.
shifted her focus from the door to the wall beside it. Twilight's horn steadily grew with light and magic, and she gathered all the strength she had for this singular spell. When she released it, the magical collision roared through the hallway as stone
That's some good
crumbled
art.
and dust billowed. The hole it created in the wall was barely large
Excuse me.
enough to fit her frame, but Twilight pressed forward. She sucked in a deep breath and squeezed, contorted, and pushed herself through the wall. The dust
That's some
hadn't
good art
settled
right
yet, so Twilight had to squint through another haze to find both Applejack and Starlight.
I don't know why her lip is like cutting down, but it's still good artwork. I'm not gonna
It
fault
was
it for
then
that.
Twilight's eyes fell upon a gruesome sight. The unicorn mare.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? She's dead.
Was laying on the opposite side of the room, near the
Hold up a minute. I thought someone was here. Never mind. Let's
ruins that
go.
were once her belongings.
But she
As
dead.
the dust from the explosion slowly settled, some of the destruction in the room came into view.
Did
The
AJ
bed
bite
was
her?
in pieces. Feathers from the pillows still adrift in the air, mixing with the dust from the explosion. The armoire was nearly unrecognizable. All that remained were sharp splinters of wood and strewn about clothing. A mirror that once stood atop a vanity table was smashed.
Bro, I'm starting to get teared, bro. That's probably from me yawning. I yawned in case y'all didn't know. I said I yawned in case y'all didn't know. In case I was literally like right here at the microphone, so I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. So, that mirror over the vanity table that the Lost narrate that Lost just said, that was from that one episode where Starlight was going to graduate or something and go off on her own. Man, my arms are so stiff, bro. That was when Starlight was going to go out on her own, but decided not to. She wasn't ready or whatever. And then Twilight, but it was still a gift from Twilight to Starlight.
Smashed into tens of thousands of pieces.
Ooh.
Clothing, tapestries, childhood memorabilia, eviscerated. Then there was Starlight herself, who was in a similar state of upheaval. Her skin was marred with fresh injuries. The red soaked through her fur so thoroughly.
I would hope it's fresh injuries. If that
wounds
was
were
not fresh,
indistinguishable from one
how did
to
y'all not
the
see it
other.
when y'all were down there
A
in the main
bone
room?
in her back hoof was jutting backwards, disconnected from its place. But most horrific of all was the cascade of blood oozing through hooves that clung desperately through a severed jugular.
Why?
Starlight asked, her breath caught in her throat. She was looking up at something that had been hidden in the haze. Twilight blinked a few times to bring her eyes fully into focus in the dim light, and found Applejack looming over Starlight. There was a strange, unnatural, and unnerving smile on the Earth Pony's face.
I see that.
Pleased with herself for ridding the world of her so-called replacement.
Very unnerving smile.
This was the moment that Applejack was no longer a pony in
No.
Twilight's eyes,
No.
but a demon that needed to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Clearly magic was no threat to this evil
Beast. So, Twilight changed tactics,
gripping a sharpened shard of mirror in her magic.
and leaping towards Applejack with a frenzied cry. Surely the weapon would instill some fear.
And at the very least, draw AJ.
Applejack away from Starlight. Much to Twilight's surprise,
Okay, Twilight, if you're still trying to save Starlight, you're a freaking idiot. Starlight is dead. Starlight's not making that. Starlight is dead. A severed jugular. She's dead. She's bleeding out to death. She's going to die. Just kill AJ. That's the only thing you have to worry about now. Forget about Starlight. She's dead. She's gone. See ya. She's in heaven, hell, wherever she went. She's gone. Kill AJ. It's your only objective right now. Alright?
plan worked.
Starlight's
Applejack's
dead.
face contorted to that of surprise, maybe even shock. And she didn't stick around long enough to see if the alicorn could bring herself to murder a pony in cold blood. She whizzed past Twilight so quickly, it seemed as
I missed something, hold up.
to that of surprise. Applejack away from Starlight. Much to Twilight's surprise, her plan worked. Applejack's face contorted to that of surprise, maybe even shock. And she didn't stick around long enough to see if the alicorn could bring herself to murder a pony in
So that was AJ talk. Okay, AJ was escaping. I'm like, why would AJ escape? She has super speed, super eyesight. Like, why would she try to escape? There's no point in her trying to escape, but I guess she did.
cold blood. She whizzed
Like, AJ could literally kill, if AJ can kill Starlight, Twilight has no chance of beating AJ. I just thought about that. Starlight is the most powerful unicorn in Equestria. So, if AJ was able to kill Starlight, pretty simple, actually. Even if Starlight was caught off guard, Starlight could still kill AJ. Easily. No matter how many potions AJ takes in. Well, I won't say that, because if AJ takes in a lot of potions, I mean, like, she kind of did. Okay, maybe. But yeah, if you can kill Starlight AJ, you can kill Twilight, no problem.
to pass Twilight so
No problem.
quickly, it seemed as though she was flying. In less time than it took for a pony to blink, Applejack leapt out of the hole the princess had just made in the wall and disappeared without a trace. Twilight could do nothing but stare after her, her magic finally failing as the shard of glass clattered to the ground. She knew the severe consequences that would soon follow if she didn't pursue her. But Twilight's mind wouldn't detach itself from the need to save her friend.
Starlight! Starlight! Starlight!
Her heartbeats were
She's
drumming
already
loudly
dead.
again, echoing Starlight's name over and over as she allowed insanity to creep into her reality.
Don't.
Twilight.
Starlight stammered, each syllable uttered only strengthening the waterfall of life, drenching the mare's fur and pulling underneath her. Twilight
dead.
cried out unintelligibly, collapsing on the floor beside her friend. She wanted
To hold her, to ease the pain, to promise she'd be okay, to make it stop, but it would only delay the inevitable.
Flashing
Starlight's
images.
gasping and gagging was fading, and Twilight could do nothing but watch as Starlight clung to her last
shred of life.
Please!
She dead. She dead. She dead. Leave her. Follow AJ.
Twilight
Kill
managed
AJ.
through garbled
Starlight's
cries. She watched Starlight's face change from fear to confusion to finally sorrow. Twilight knew she should have said something, offer up some kind of solace or peace.
Or teleport out of the way so AJ wouldn't get to Starlight in time. That's also an option. But you know, hey, maybe y'all both could have at least done something to AJ. Y'all wouldn't have killed her, probably. But y'all could have at least slowed her down or something, like trapped her or something.
But words
with both of y'all's
wouldn't
powers.
come.
Who knows?
Instead, she helplessly kept her gaze locked on Starlight's as seconds slowly passed them by.
What is on your hooves?
Princess's stunned, silent grief was the
Twilight,
last
what's on
thing
your hooves?
Starlight
That's not
Glimmer
blood.
witnessed in this world before slipping away into darkness.
Dead.
Twilight let out a scream that would echo through every hallway in the castle. She pulled Starlight into her embrace, cradling her body against her chest.
Oh, that on your hooves is your horseshoes, or you know, your actual hooves. That's
like a
they're stained with blood. I don't know.
mother coddling a child. Twilight was consumed in grief, letting no coddling would echo the silent.
But it wasn't all. Never mind. I'm losing it.
Body against her chest, like a mother coddling a child.
Excuse me.
Twilight was consumed in grief, letting no other emotion take precedence, despite the severity of the situation around her. She didn't have long to dwell in it, however.
Those were eyes in the background.
Around her. She didn't have long.
In the background, those are eyes. Y'all can see my mouse, can't y'all? Can y'all see my mouse? Yes, y'all can. Right there. Those are eyes right there.
To dwell in it, however. When she felt a large, heavy object slam into the back of her head, and the alicorn collapsed onto the floor.
Wait until the end. I don't think I want to wait till the end. Why were they making that statue of them all? I don't understand. Yeah, I didn't like that art style right there. I didn't. Art by Spin Charlie. Hey, it's better than what I can do. It is. But I just don't like that art style. I just don't. So blocky. Why'd you say wait till the end? Alright, I get it. It says something there, but I can't read it. Okay, I don't know why I said wait to the end. Anyways, so I hope you guys did enjoy. I'm going to go in this video. It's a pretty long video. It's an hour and 4 minutes. Like, subscribe, comment, notification, share. Okay? Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did like, subscribe, comment, bell, notification, share. I already said that, but I'll say it again. Y'all need to do it. And as always, peace out.